ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome to another round predicts. We are very excited for this weekend's fight between Jake Paul and Tommy Fury in Saudi Arabia, coming off at about midday Eastern time in the US and probably about 5 o'clock in the UK. I'm not really sure. I think that's about the right time. What do you think is going to happen predictions wise? How do you see the fight going?
Yeah, there's so many unknowns, isn't there? Because despite the fact that Jake Paul's fought some people, it's like the people that he's fought, they've been sort of older, they've not been boxers, so it's like, he looks like he's very, very committed and he's training very hard. But these videos, they can be deceiving. They can, you can chop and change things. You can make yourself look good. You can, you know what I mean? So it's really, it's one of those where if you look at it for what it is, which is two novice professional boxers, it's not a bad matchup if you compare their records. If you look at Tommy Fury's record, he hasn't really fought anybody worth mentioning, really. So if you look at it as what it is, which is two novice professional boxers, it's not a bad matchup. As a main event, obviously Jake Paul's name is what's selling it, That being said, I think Fury's the one who's got so much to lose here, because he's the one who's the lifelong boxer. He's the one who's sort of got the Fury name. He's got the one who's basically saying he's got a brother who's saying he's going to be left in Saudi if he loses. So yeah. It's there's a lot going on.
Well, let's just not forget as well, there's a couple of things to factor in as well. Let's not forget, Tommy Fury was actually on Love Island for a couple of years. Like he wasn't boxing for a while. He was doing showbiz thing. He was on Love Island. A lot of the people watching him will know him for Love Island, and they won't really know him as a boxer. They'll want to see him.
In all fairness to Jake Paul as well, like Tommy Fury's kind of been rather than actually fighting pro boxers, he's the one who's really been hunting Jake Paul down as well. So you know what I mean? It's like he kind of wants to be involved in that influencer type of boxing. It's not like he's going ham trying to get a title. He's not like doing what Tyson Fury did and go down and start becoming Commonwealth champion, become British champion. You know what I mean? He's not going the traditional route.
Well, Tommy Fury isn't anywhere near as good as Tyson Fury, and we all know that obviously he's got this fight because of his brother, because of his name. He's not really he probably wouldn't have got this fight if he was called like Tommy Smith. Do you know what I mean? He's just a random.
He might be. On Sunday, he might be Tommy Smith.
He might be. So the thing is with it is like he's had 8 fights. In his first couple of fights, I think he got a few knockdowns. And then when you start to look at it and you start to analyze it, a couple of years ago, I would have said there's no chance that Jake Paul wins. But then now when I watch it back, Tommy Fury's last 3 fights, he's been awful. He's struggled with
so limited.
He's struggled with that guy, Anthony Taylor, that little tiny guy.
Yeah. Like he fought that guy on the undercard of, was it Woodley 1 or Woodley 2?
Yeah, that guy makes Kevin Hart look tall. Do you know what I mean? He was tiny.
Yeah. And he's not a very good boxer as well. He's not a very.
I watched him away. Just couldn't.
I watched that guy on a DAZN show recently, fighting on one of those influencer cards, and he fought a guy from Birmingham, and he got beaten up, and he's not very good at all. Like he gassed out by the second round. It was only a 4-rounder. He gassed out by the second round. Tommy Fury should have got rid of that guy, man. Yeah. Like there's no way that guy should be going the distance.
Yeah, so like I was saying before, either he's been really smart and he's been really kind of like sneaky and he's been deliberately really bad the last 3 fights to get this Jake Paul fight, and he's going to turn it on and go hell for leather, or he's just not very good. He's just a very, very low level novice boxer who is probably at the same level as Jake Paul. But we will see and we'll find out. you know,
Yeah.
like it said, the event's called The Truth. We'll definitely find out the truth. And you know, it's interesting. Me being in the United States, I don't know what it's like on in the bookies, but Jake Paul is heavily favorite over here. So, you know, they must know there's something, they must know something. And, you know, it's in Saudi Arabia. So, you know, that, you know,
I
we
don't know.
don't
I
know.
don't know how the betting shape it up in the UK, but I know what the opinion sort of is, and the
Mm,
opinion is, I think a lot of people are thinking that Tommy Fury's going to lose this fight. I think a lot of
yeah.
people want Tommy Fury to win, but I think people recognize how sort of limited he is as well.
He's
In
very
that regard,
limited. He's very limited. He's got a bit of power in him. But my thing is as well, just don't get knocked out. Like
yeah,
you should be smart enough to be able to see Jake Paul and be able to see his punches coming and be able to avoid it. I'd be
yeah,
able to at least, I mean, Anderson Silva, up until the point where he was got knocked down, he went 8 rounds with Jake Paul, and he had some moments where, you know, what is he, 50 something, Anderson Silva?
yeah. He's older, yeah,
He's
yeah.
late 40s. He had some moments where he really did look like he was shaping up with Jake Paul. So he should give him a challenge.
I think Jake Paul's one of those types of people as well. He seems to be hungrier than Tommy Fury. Like he has like
Oh
a
yeah,
destination in mind, where Tommy Fury's kind of just like he doesn't seem up for it as much. You know, he's already pulled out a couple of times. You know, he's almost being bullied by Jake Paul in the lead up as well. It's not like, you know, so I
I don't
don't know.
know. Here's the thing. I don't know if, you know, because I've heard that Tommy Fury isn't very dedicated, doesn't train very hard, he's distracted by things. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah,
That's just what I've seen and heard and stuff. And I know that Jake Paul is like obsessive about boxing and he's been doing it for 3 years solid. So, but like I said, Jake Paul's very heavily favorite and he's saying he's going to put him away in 4 rounds.
I
So,
can't say it. You couldn't put Tyron Woodley away in 4 rounds. If he puts Tommy Fury away in 4 rounds, there's a big fucking problem. Either he's come a very, very long way, or Tommy Fury's a complete fraud. If he puts Tommy Fury away in 4 rounds, Tommy Fury should be fucking ashamed of himself. You know what I
yeah,
mean? He
he
really
will
should be.
never, dude, he will never live that down.
If you're getting
Imagine that.
slapped by Jake Paul within 4 rounds, bro, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. You should be ashamed. I think John Fury could go more than 4 rounds
John,
with Jake fucking Paul
John
right now.
Fury.
You know what I mean?
John Fury's going to be absolutely raging. I hope that Tyson Fury is there as well. Because can you imagine the scenes? Can you imagine the
He
scenes?
will be. Of course, he will be.
Imagine the scenes if Tommy Fury gets flatlined in like 4 rounds, man. That's gonna be mental.
I think they'll leave him in the ring. I think, bro, they'll get the fuck out of there. I think,
Oh my
like, you know what I mean?
God.
No,
I feel like this is like there's no positives out of this with Tommy Fury because
and I think Tommy Fury struggles with the nerves as well. Like one of the things that we touched on just before was that fight against Anthony Taylor, and I
yeah,
remember that fight quite vividly. And he was
yeah,
nervous. It was like
he
one of the
was.
biggest stages he'd fought on. I know since then he's fought on Tyson's undercard at Wembley and stuff like that. So maybe he's gotten, you know, as a novice boxer, maybe he's got that experience under his belt now. But he
Yeah,
looked really nervous, and I think that is one of the reasons he performed so poorly in that fight
yeah,
was the
yeah.
nerves.
No, no, you're probably right. Yeah, no, I hope that's not the case because I want it to be a really good fight. And I'm excited. I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
So we will see. But yeah, it could be some absolute scenes.
yeah,
Absolutely. I
yeah.
really
This,
hope all the Fury family are there to cause some havoc after the fight.
yeah.
Because
I
it'll be
hope
funny.
so. I hope so. Yeah,
Well, that'll be exciting. So that's on Sunday. Bit of a weird time because obviously it's in Saudi Arabia, so it's on at like my morning time and your afternoon time. But it's
yeah.
on ESPN Plus. I'm not sure if it's on BT Sport.
I love afternoon fights, you know, bro.
I do
You
as
know,
well.
it's like in Japan as well. If there's a fight, if there's a boxing fight in Japan, which is very rare, it comes on UK afternoon time, and it's
Yeah,
great.
I
I
love it.
love
Yeah,
that.
no, it's great. It is great.
Whoa, whoa,
Oh,
whoa, whoa, whoa! We need to do a prediction, my friend. We need to do a
oh
prediction.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Prediction wise,
Who you got?
uh, I'm gonna say,
Don't you
I'm
dare
gonna,
say Jake Paul.
what is it? 8 rounds, yeah. How many
Eight
rounds is it?
rounds.
I'm gonna say, mate, I can't see Tommy winning it.
I can't
I
see it
can't
either.
see him winning it.
You know, don't want to put my name behind Tommy Fury. Like I don't want to. I don't want to. Fuck it. I'm gonna go Tommy Fury. I'm gonna go Tommy Fury by knockout.
All right, I'm gonna go Jake Paul on points and say that. All right, well that has been another episode of Another Round Predicts.